Greetings, friends. This is a Hatha Yoga set and a complex of postures and dynamic exercises. We're going to be practicing it with the help of a character from a Van Gogh painting, as well as some sunflowers. This set is probably slightly better suited for morning use and practice. I am saying this because it will probably have an energizing effect on an average person. However, it will depend on an individual, and most people should still be able to go to sleep within about 20 to 30 minutes of practicing it after the energy of the body comes down somewhat and you get somewhat rested. If you have any chronic issues, for example, like herniated spinal discs, digestive problems, heart problems, or other things, please consult your physician or a specialist in terms of being able to do these exercises soundly for your health. So it is your responsibility to make sure it is safe and sound for you to do these things, and I will try my best to explain them and narrate and relate on how to do them properly. So please be well and enjoy the practice. Let's begin. We begin in a posture called Tadasana, which means the mountain pose. Stand straight, flat on your feet, lower your shoulders, palms are active along the body, arms are not too stressed. Pretend if you were a Christmas tree toy being hung from the top of your head. Your whole body is stretched. The spine is stretched. Lift your arms up, inhale, exhale, touch with the palms, bend the knees if needed, head up, inhale, jump back, exhale, inhale, touch with your feet, and exhale. This is a pose called downward facing dog. The most important part of this pose is to have your arms and back form a straight line, sort of like a roof. It is not as critical that your heels touch the ground. Eventually the back part of your leg will stretch and you'll be able to get there. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, head down, we go back into the fold. Inhale, go up slow, and hands up, exhale. The original pose, Tadasana. Continue. Inhale, exhale, fold again. Inhale, head up, exhale, jump back. Inhale, exhale. We're back to downward facing dog. This is a standard routine, a Surya Namaskara routine from Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, which means sun salutation. So this is the variation A, or the first variation. We're holding the downward facing dog here for a few breaths. Breathe using the abdominal breath. And your sight aims for your navel. So the head doesn't just stick up, it actually tries to follow with the body. Inhale, come up, and exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, come up, hands up, exhale, we're back to Tadasana, the original pose. Inhale, hands up again, exhale, we fold. Inhale, head up, exhale, jump back, exhale here. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, we're back to downward facing dog. And similarly, we hold it for a few breaths here. Aim for your navel with your sight. If your heels try to go inside, keep them on the parallel lines, it's important, or even slightly outwards. So it's critical that they don't fall into each other. Inhale, come up. Exhale, we're folding. Inhale, come up. Your sight goes up to your palms, exhale, Tadasana, the original pose. Take a few breaths. Let's prepare for the second variation of the sun salutation. It's slightly more physical. Inhale, exhale, inhale, head up, exhale, inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale. Make sure your back and arms are one straight line. The palms should be touching the mat, and there should be no gaps between your fingers and the mat. They're completely flat. Breathe abdominally and deeply. You can create slight vacuum when you breathe out. So inhale, come up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale, Tadasana. Lower your shoulders if you feel any tension. Inhale, we continue. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back or step back. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. When you get used to this pose, it will feel like a rest pose, like a resting pose, and it will become quite easy. At first, it might feel quite difficult and strenuous, but things will certainly change, as they always do. So just stay with the practice, and you will see some evolution. It's bound to happen. If there is an action, there'll be a reaction. Inhale, head up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, head up, side to the palms. Exhale, Tadasana. That's the original pose. Let's compose here. Restore the breath if you get winded. And let's actually start the second variation now. Our knees will go down. We have a preparatory move. Come down. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, warrior first variation. Exhale, inhale, exhale, second variation. Inhale, back to the top, and exhale, I come down to the Virabhadrasana, first variation. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Exhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1 on the other side. Exhale, inhale, open up to the side. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Arms parallel lines to the floor. Inhale, up. Exhale, I come down again. Inhale here, and exhale, palms on the mat, Chaturanga Dandasana, and inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We hold it here for a few breaths. As I said, try to breathe deeply and abdominally. You don't have to force the breath too much, but just emphasize the end points of the breath. Perhaps on the exhale, make it a little fuller exhale. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, head down, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana, the original pose. Compose yourself. If you get winded, let's prepare to continue. We do a couple of more rounds here. If needed, give yourself enough time in between. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's prepare for the warrior poses. Inhale, step forward with the right foot, arms up. Exhale, come down slightly. Inhale, open up to the side, and exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, lower yourself again. Inhale and exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Prepare for the other side now. Inhale, left leg forward, arms up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, open up to the side, and exhale, second warrior pose. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale, first variation of warrior again. Inhale and exhale, palms to the mat, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. Follow the breath with your attention. For example, it can be your stomach going up and down. We don't just rest here and let the mind wander. Inhale, come up, head up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, knees down, and together. Exhale, Tadasana. Again, compose yourself if needed. Let's prepare to do another round. Give yourself enough space and time if you get winded. Eventually you'll be able to do it one by one. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, left side. Exhale, come down. Inhale, open up to the side. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower yourself. Inhale and exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot comes forward. Exhale, lower yourself. Inhale, open up to the side, and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, come down again. Inhale and exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. You can adjust the position of your feet to better suit your height. It's approximately 90 degrees between your feet and the body in this pose. Inhale, come up, head up. Exhale. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, Tadasana, the mountain pose. Stand firmly, not too tense, not too loose. There's definitely a tone in that pose, but it's not too strenuous. You can stand like that for a long time if you do it properly, 30, 40 minutes. It feels balanced, nothing hurts, nothing really strains, although it might take some practice. Inhale, exhale, take your toes, and exhale, head down. Here we can bend our knees. We protect the spine this way, so to avoid any hernia of discs, we're folding using the rotation in the hips, not the bend of the spine. So as you can see, the spine is nearly straight, or close to being so, and we use deep breaths here. This is Parangushtasana. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down again, fold a little deeper. Inhale, release the toes and stick your palms under your feet. Exhale, we go into the fold. This is a little more advanced fold, creates a little more tension, but it's still doable for everyone who can do the first pose here. Again, breathe deeply, keep the knees bent if needed, and bend using the tension in the legs, not in the spine. So this is the leg stretching pose, although it certainly stretches the spine, but it's not the main goal. So protect the spine here. Inhale, head up, and exhale, head down, fold again. Release the palms, inhale, and the original pose, Tadasana. Prepare for the next one. Give yourself enough time to breathe and restore the breath if needed between each pose. You can make it more or less dynamic, more or less challenging, depending on how quickly you transition. Inhale, prepare for the triangle, and exhale. Place the palm on your ankle, on the mat, flat, if that's possible. Make sure both of your legs, your body, and your arms are in one vertical plane, and your side goes up toward the fingertips on the upper hand. So this pose creates a tension in your right leg. The right leg is active in the knee. There is a knee lock, Janu Bandha here. And also we have a twist of the spine. Inhale, we come up, rotate on your feet, and exhale. Same thing on the other side. Straight leg, left leg in the front. It's active in the knee. The side goes up to the fingertips of the right hand. You can vary how deep you go into this. You need to try to stay in plane. The depth of the fold doesn't matter as much as does the being in the plane with the whole body, with both legs, with the body, and also with both arms. You can do this near a wall. Inhale, come up, rotate again, exhale. We do a rotated version, so the back arm comes forward and down. Both legs are straight here, and the same thing, the side goes up to the fingertips of the upper hand, upper arm. The arms are in one straight line, if possible. You can come up higher if it's too strenuous for now. Inhale, rotate, and exhale, mirroring on the other side. You can see the pose from the front now. Breathe into your stomach here, it's critical. Your organs get a massage this way. Inhale, we come up, and exhale, step forward. We finish with a sequence of 2 asanas, 4 actually if you count each side, left and right. Let's prepare for Utthita Parshvakonasana, the intense stretching of the side of the body. Inhale, make a wider step, direct forward, and exhale. The entire left side of the body creates one straight line. It's like this one roof. And we look at the fingertips of the stretched out hand. Here's a slightly easier variation where you put your forearm on the knee. This is a more difficult variation where we include a twist. Depending on where you place the palm And this is slightly more advanced for those whose hips are more open. Inhale, keep breathing. I'm just showing you different variations here. Inhale, come up, rotate, and exhale. Same thing on the other side. You can see how this looks from the front. The whole side of the body is one straight line. This is the critical part. It doesn't matter how deep you go, so long as the form is correct. If you can go deeper and keep the form, then great, do it. But if you have to sacrifice the form, for example, to create a kink near the pelvis area, between the line of the arm and the body, then don't go as deep. You have to make sure the line is there and it's straight. If it's not, come up higher and keep it there. Eventually, your hips will loosen up, your legs will loosen up, and you'll be able to go deeper. So there is nowhere to rush. Just make sure the form is correct. Never sacrifice the form for depth. Let's do the rotated version here. This is the beginner variation. We put the knee down and make a namaste on the other side. The side goes up to the ceiling. And the first thing we try to do, we maintain balance here. You can raise your knee if the balance is fine and easily kept. You can put your palm down. The back foot is flat now. You can put the palm down and create a roof again. As you can see, this is a rotated version, but again, there is this straight line of the side of the body. So this can be quite a difficult pose, so don't rush it. It creates quite a twist. So you have to be careful with it. Better to gradually progress to it and do it safely when the body's ready. On the other side, again, exhale, create a twist, knee down. Make sure you're on the ball of your back foot. It allows you to maintain balance easier that way. Inhale, we come up. These are progressions for different versions that you can keep. And again, placing the palm down and creating the roof over your body. The body is one straight line. Side goes to the fingertips of the stretched out hand at the top. Release yourself. You can follow back through the previous variations. Inhale, we come up. And exhale, we come forward and finish. Back to the Tadasana pose. This is the original pose. Restore our breath. Give ourselves some time. If your mind wandered away, bring it back into the body. You can follow the sensations in the body. You can follow the breath. Inhale, step back, and we prepare for forward folds with wide feet. Exhale, palms down. Inhale and exhale again. We're in the fold. Here you should also bend the knees if needed. Don't fold with your back. The back should be straight or nearly so. Make sure you're folding safely for your back. And we breathe here. The feet are on two parallel lines. Inhale, head up. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, come up fully. Raise the torso. Take the hips. Exhale. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, take the hips again. Inhale. And exhale. The torso is going to come down. You relax mostly everything except for the legs. Just the legs have some tension in them to keep us upright. But the body, the neck, the back, everything gets pretty loose here. It just hangs there, so it's a pretty relaxing thing, although it can be somewhat strenuous at first. But try to relax here. We just let the gravity do the work for us. This is the beauty of these standing poses, because we use the gravity to help us. Inhale, we come up. Arms out. Exhale, make a lock on the back behind your body. Press the chest forward with that exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Fold again and bring this hammer out of your fists behind. So not only are we folding and creating tension in the legs, now we're also doing some work on the shoulders, upper back, back, and the chest area. Breathe into your stomach. You can also create some vacuum with your exhales, as if the stomach gets closer to the spine. Inhale, come up. Don't release the lock yet. Exhale, press the chest forward. Inhale, release it. Exhale, bend, take the toes. Inhale, head up. And exhale, head down. Breathe deeply, and once again into the stomach. Inhale, head up. Exhale, down again, a little deeper. Release the toes. Inhale, come up. And exhale, step forward to the mat, and we finish this one as well. Make the namaste behind your back. If you're unable to do so, an elbow lock will suffice as well. So in the case of namaste, we prepare, step back with the right foot, make sure the hips are closed, and exhale. We fold forward. The front leg is active in the knee, it's completely straight, and we breathe here. It's a narrower step than all the previous ones, than every previous one that we've done so far. This is Parshva Konasana. Inhale, we come up, rotate on our feet, and exhale, fold towards the left leg. If you cannot fold low, you can stay higher, that's fine as well. Inhale, we come up, and exhale, Tadasana, the original pose. Let's continue. Place the right foot on the inner left thigh and inhale. Make the namaste. Your body is straight. We're standing on the left foot. The side can follow to the floor, but the body is straight. Do not bend your neck as if you were looking at the phone or down. You can extend the arms outward. It's slightly more difficult to balance this way, or upward. This is Vriksasana, or the tree pose. This is a balance pose. It trains the mind, makes it more concentrated. If you cannot balance, well, one thing, the muscle memory is not there yet. The second thing, the mind is not composed. It can be all over the place. In the dreams, in the memories, in the thoughts. It's not here and now, not in the body, not standing. It's doing something else. So this is a beautiful pose for training the mind. Exhale, bring the foot down. We're back to the original pose. Inhale. Now the left foot on the inner thigh, on the right inner thigh, and namaste. Again, balance. The whole back is straight. Inhale, arms out. That's another variation. You can still keep the namaste and inhale, arms up. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath here. It's important to continue breathing. Exhale, arms out, parallel to the floor. Namaste variation. And exhale, bring the foot down. Tadasana, the original pose. Inhale. This is a half lotus on one side, so bring the right one. Keep it with the left palm. And you can try to grab the left forearm until you reach your foot with your right arm behind your back. If you're unable to do so, just keep your right palm on the left forearm. So the left forearm is like a helping device here to keep us stretching until we're able to grab the foot itself. And it's also a balance. Keep your back straight and including your neck. Inhale and exhale, we step down. You can release the tension. Inhale, half lotus on the left side. It's quite typical that one side is more flexible than the other, so pay attention to that. It's interesting. And grab the foot, in this case, with the left palm. Keep breathing. Deep breaths, inhale and exhale. Again, rock back and forth if needed, release the tension. The original pose, Tadasana. Place your ankle just above the left knee and exhale, we come down and hold this balancing pose. The back is straight here. You should feel the rotation in the hip joint in the right one. There is a lower variation that I just showed, but it's completely fine to hold this one. Inhale and exhale, come down. Tadasana. Inhale, the other side, switch the legs. A lower variation. For those whose hip rotation is pretty good at this point, there's another balancing pose that I'm not showing, but it's fine to keep it with the back straight here in the upper variation. Typically everyone is able to do this one. Inhale and exhale. Return. Step back slightly. I'm stepping back. Inhale, grab your toe, and exhale. This is a balance with the leg sticking to the front. It's not as critical how straight your front leg is or how high it is. In the beginning, it's important to try to find the balance. If you're able to balance here, do that, and eventually your leg will straighten out. Inhale, release the toes, and keep your leg straight. Your toe is pointed, toes are pointed here. It's a strength exercise, static strength exercise. Exhale, bring the foot down. Again, Tadasana. Inhale, take the toes of the left foot in this case, and exhale, lean forward. Our chin aims for beyond the knee of this front leg. If you're still way too high, that's fine as well. You should feel the tension in the back part of this left leg, and if it's there, then great, the work is already being done. Inhale, head straight. Exhale, inhale, come up, release the toes. Again, point your toes and keep the leg stretched out in front of you as high as possible. It may gradually come up. Exhale, come down. Tadasana, the original pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we fold again. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, come down. Virabhadrasana 1, we're holding it. Keep breathing here. The back leg is active and straight. Inhale, come up, rotate, and exhale. Same thing on the other side. Make sure there's 90 degrees or more in your front leg. That way it's more stable. If there is less, it will become wobbly. Inhale, open up to the side, and exhale, come down into the Virabhadrasana 2, second warrior pose. Same thing applies to the leg comment, or to the legs. Your side follows the front palm. Inhale, rotate, and exhale on the other side. Arms are parallel to the floor. Lower your shoulders if possible. Don't squeeze your neck. Inhale, come up. Palms down on the mat. Exhale. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale, we come up. Exhale. Inhale, Utkatasana. So we're grabbing some elements from the earlier Surya Namaskara, the sun salutation, and we're just doing them statically and separately for now, increasing the time we hold them. We breathe here, we don't hold the breath. Make sure you breathe. Exhale, fold, palms down on the mat. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keep breathing. We're using this as a bit of a rest. Palms are flat, completely flat on the mat with your index fingers pointing forward. They're on parallel lines to the side edges of the mat. Inhale, bring your left foot forward. This is called the runner's pose, or sometimes it's called an equestrian pose. I guess it resembles a rider on a horse. The weight here is in the legs, in the feet, and the arms are there, palms are there just for a bit of a balance. I can safely release them and still remain balanced. Lower your right knee. We come up. The hips are closed here. So make sure the legs are on parallel lines. Inhale, arms up. We don't look at the fingertips here. We look at about 45 degrees up. I believe this pose is called Anjanasana. And it stretches the front side of the right hip. Inhale, exhale, palms back on the mat. And let's do some dynamic exercises. Inhale, exhale. When I inhale, my body, my torso remains attached to my hip. So I'm just stretching this leg here. Inhale and exhale. You can do it at your own tempo here several times, 5 or 6 times. It's pretty good. Now let's hold it here. We exhaled and we're holding. We're not holding the breath, we're still breathing, but we're now holding the pose statically. This is Ardha Trikonasana, which means half triangle. We had the full triangle, Utthita Trikonasana, earlier. This is half triangle. Inhale, exhale, one more round of dynamic. Prepare for Utthita Lizard pose, colloquially. Inhale, your forearms go down, or you can remain higher if needed. This pose resembles a lizard. Uttanprishthasana is the Sanskrit name for the pose. It resembles a lizard. The hips resemble those of a lizard. It can be quite aesthetic. This pose can create a lot of sensations, but bear with it. It's highly effective at loosening the hips and stretching the back part of the leg. Inhale, we come up, bring the foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's switch the sides. Not yet, actually. Inhale. This is a pigeon pose or preparation for it. Make sure the leg is straight. It's critical that the heel of the back leg is facing up to the ceiling, or it's slightly inward. Don't let it fall outward. Make sure the hip joints are approximately equal height from the floor on each side, and we hold the body straight. You can put your fists or just put the palms down to adjust the height slightly. Sometimes I like the fists, so I use those. The tension here is in the front part of the right hip, as well as in the left hip joint, because there is a rotation there. You can exhale and fold forward if that feels comfortable. For some people, this fold forward is actually a more difficult pose, and for others this makes the pose easier. So you can pay attention to which camp you belong to. Inhale, we come back up, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Now let's actually switch the legs. This is the runner's pose or the equestrian pose, just on the other side. The right leg is in the front now. Again, I remind you that the weight is in your feet, not in your palms. And sometimes we can even lift the palms to test our posture, make sure the weight is actually in the feet. Exhale, lower the left knee, come up, the hips are closed, we're facing straight forward. Inhale, I will bring the arms up, but I don't look at the palms, I look at about 45 degrees up in the vertical direction. And this is a preparation for a split. The split in which your legs go front and back, not sideways. Exhale, put the ball of your foot down. We're doing again dynamic exercise with Ardha Trikonasana, with half triangles. Inhale, face up. Exhale, Ardha Trikonasana. Inhale and exhale. Again, at your own tempo, 5 or 6 times. This is a great exercise for the static hold, which we're now doing. Inhale and we hold it statically. We're still breathing, we're just holding the pose statically now instead of doing the dynamic exercises. Make sure your back hip is approximately perpendicular to the floor. It makes no sense to go deeper into this bend if your hip just attaches to your leg basically. So make sure it's perpendicular. Make sure you stretch the front leg, and it doesn't matter what the back one is doing too much. Let's prepare for the lizard, Uttanprishthasana. If you cannot touch the floor with the forearms for now, then go higher, just touch it with your palms and just aim down with your body. Now, it's important to rotate in your hip here. So it's not as critical how low your head is. It makes no sense to aim for the floor with your head. Try to aim for the floor with your whole body. So the body, the torso, rotates relative to the hip, to the right hip that's in the front. And as I said, this can be a quite a sensation creator of an asana, of a pose. So just bear with it. Observe them equanimously. Don't react too much. Inhale and exhale. We do the downward facing dog. Inhale. Again, we're doing a preparation for a pigeon pose. The back heel is up or slightly inward, and just make sure it's not outward. Hip joints are roughly equal distance away from the mat. The body is straight, the back is straight. It can have some bends, but make sure it's nothing too abnormal. And you can use the palms or the fists to prop yourself up. Make sure you breathe. Make sure your belly button faces directly forward. It's an important point to keep in mind, because sometimes we create kinks and twists, but we want to make sure our torso is actually facing straight forward. Breathe here, and we'll try to do the lower variation of the pose in which the torso goes down. As I said earlier, for some people it's easier, for some it's more difficult. Exhale, come down. Your arms can be stretched out at about ear height on the floor, flat on the floor, and you essentially touch your lower leg with your torso. Again, we're using the gravity to help us, so this is nice. The gravity is a tool that's helping us get more flexible. Inhale, we came back up. Again, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we come up, we sit. Sit with legs stretched out in front of us. This is Dandasana, the staff pose. Although it's not as straight as a staff, but it's called a staff pose. Inhale, arms up, look at the fingertips. Exhale, take the toes, and we fold forward. This is Paschimottanasana. Paschima Uttana Asana. So the stretching of the back part of your body. Paschima means west or back. In this case, it's also important to bend the knees slightly if needed. You can have some bend in the back, so straight back is not as critical, but make sure it's not a big kink or the back is not too crooked, because it's also liable to create some hernia there. So make sure you rotate in the hips and protect your back, and eventually you'll get more and more loose and you'll be able to go deeper and deeper into this fold. Inhale, switch to holding the outer parts of your feet, and exhale. This is a little more difficult. This is a little more of a deeper fold, but the idea is exactly the same. We do the same thing, protecting the back, and we breathe here. This is quite a good asana. It really affects your whole body, and it affects a lot of muscles, a lot of tendons. So it's recommended that you do this daily, even if you have a very short routine, very short practice, time-wise, say 10-15 minutes. This pose should probably be included in that, because it's so powerful. Inhale and exhale again. Inhale, release the feet. Chaturanga. Inhale, come up. and exhale. Inhale. We sit down again. Again, your feet and legs straight in front of you. We're compensating Paschimottanasana now. This is Purvattanasana. Your feet aim flat for the floor. The body is straight. You're pressing the pelvis up forward. The arms are approximately perpendicular to the floor and the head drops back. And we breathe here. Exhale. We come back down. Take a few breaths. Release the tension if needed. Inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We're just including a few of these dynamic transitions to get loose and stay warm. Inhale, again sit. We're going to be doing Janu Shirshasana. Janu is the knee, Shirsha is the head. So it's the head going to the knee. It's the fold of head to the knee. Again, make sure you protect the back similarly to how I described earlier. Same ideas apply. Breathe. Your right foot is touching the left inner thigh. So it's stretching your left leg, its back surface of the left leg, and also the right hip joint. It's a double-sided pose. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, let's do another dynamic transition. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sit down again. Let's do Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, grab your right foot, that's in the front. And again, we aim with our chin to touch our ankle, or somewhere between the knee and the ankle on the right leg. If it's too high, make sure your back is not too crooked. If needed, you can bend the knee slightly. Although this pose will eventually require a knee lock, which is the Janu Bandha. So the leg is active. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's take a couple of breaths. Inhale, sit down again. We're going to be doing Marichasana. Inhale, head up. Exhale, fold down. It's a twist and also a stretch for the back part of the left leg. As you can see, this set has a lot of stretches for your legs. I consider legs to be the base of everything in Hatha Yoga, and that makes sense. If standing postures are not going easily, then the seated ones will be even more difficult. So we use a lot of gravity to try to help us. Inhale, we switch the legs. It's Marichasana on the other side. Again, it's a twist. Inhale and exhale. We aim with the chin down to beyond the knee of the right foot, of the right leg. Continue breathing. Breathe into the stomach. Anytime you're in the twist, breathe into the stomach. It creates a wonderful organ massage that you cannot get anywhere else or anyhow else Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. This is a pose called Shalabhasana, or a locust pose. There are variations. I'm showing the full variation now. This is a slightly easier variation with arms closer to you. You can stretch the arms out to the side. Inhale. Keep breathing here. Exhale. We come down and rest a bit. These are the variations that are easier. You can do the alterations, alternating movements of the legs. The body can come separately. The torso can come separately. Let's do the dragonfly. I'm sticking my arms as if I'm a dragonfly here and putting some weight on them. This is a wonderful stretch for shoulders and chest and upper back. And I breathe here. I can vary the tension I put on the arms by rolling myself forward and back. The more forward I roll, the more weight I put on the arms. Hence, the more pressure and tension I create. Inhale, switch the arms. The one that was in the back comes forward now, and vice versa. Put some weight on the arms again. Make sure you don't squeeze your neck. Your head can move freely and can rest freely there. Inhale, release the arms. Exhale, we just lay for a bit. Inhale, another Shalabhasana, or the locust pose here. Make sure you breathe. We do not hold the breath here, we breathe. Exhale, relax and rest for a bit. Move yourself to the left side, left-hand side of the mat. Stick your right arm out at about ear height and slowly roll into it. Make sure you're careful. It puts a lot of pressure on the shoulder joint. Make sure you don't have any shoulder issues. And do it gradually. Take it easy and don't go into the full position. The left arm goes up or even tries to touch the right palm that's on the floor. Inhale and exhale, we return. As you can see, this is quite an intense twist of the back, so be quite careful with it. On the other side, keep breathing. We breathe here. Exhale. We return. And let's take a bit of a rest. Just lie down. Put your forehead on your palms. Again, inhale, Shalabhasana, the locust pose. As you can see, this is like an interlude for all the other poses. Because it's so good, creates a lot of blood flow. It really nourishes the spine and all the discs. I recommend you do this pose daily. It's beautiful. Let's prepare for Ardha Bhujangasana, or Sphinx. Your lower ribs touch the mat, your legs are active, your buttocks are active here. Your palms are flat, your forearms are on parallel lines, you look straight forward. This is a bend in the lower to middle back. Make sure you breathe. Inhale and exhale, come down. Let's prepare for Bhujangasana, which is the cobra. Palms are under your shoulders. Inhale, legs are active, buttocks are active, legs and hips are on the mat. Continue breathing. Look in front of us. or you can even drop the head back slightly. Keep breathing. Exhale, come down. Inhale and exhale. This is the child's pose. You can keep your arms in front of you. Completely relax your back, or you can bring the arms along the body, bring them back. But completely relax everything. Your back, your neck. Just use the gravity to compensate what we just did in the previous pose. Roll on your head a bit. I'm holding my heels and just rolling on my head from the forearm, from the forehead to the top of my head. It creates some neck massage. I'll do it gently, just a few times. Since we're here anyways, I might as well use this pose. Again, the child's pose. Inhale, come up. Sit with your legs straight out in front of you. Dandasana. Bring yourself to occupy the whole mat on your back. Inhale, Ardha Navasana. This is half boat. Your feet are about a foot up from the floor, slightly lower. Your toes are pointed. Your upper torso is also slightly up. Your arms are along the body. This is obviously an ab exercise. It is great. This is static hold. It will really work those deep ab muscles. This is Navasana. Make sure your torso and your hips form a V letter, a letter V, like a Latin V. Your arms are parallel to the floor. Make sure your neck and your back are one straight line. So some people's necks take some weird positions here, but make sure our whole spine is one straight line if you looked from the side. Again, Ardha Navasana, which is half boat. You can do the sequence, just vary it, come back and forth here a few times. Inhale, again, we're in Navasana. This is a full boat. Sometimes it's called Paripurna Navasana, which literally means full boat. Exhale, we come down, lay down, relax. Raise your legs, inhale, legs are up. We're just going to hold them here. Arms are out at approximately ear height. Exhale, bring your legs to the left palm and your side goes to the right palm. So this is a twist in the body. It's called Jattara Parivartanasana. Literally means pose of a twisted stomach or belly. You can obviously see why it's named that way. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Inhale, the legs are back up, and exhale, legs go to the left palm and your side goes to the right palm. The same twist, just on the other side. Sometimes the sides feel different tension. So pay attention to that. The body may be asymmetric. That usually means we have some blocks somewhere. So probably some tensions in the mind, because the body is just a reflection of our mind on every level. Inhale, legs are back up again vertically. Bring the legs slowly down. Your toes are pointed. We're doing an exercise in which we're slowly lowering our legs, trying to keep our waist in contact with the mat. So this is a core muscle exercise, an ab and core muscle exercise. It is great. The slower you can do it, the better. And eventually you'll be quite slow. You can take like a minute and a half to do this whole lowering. And make sure you keep the waist in contact with the mat. Bring your feet closer to you. We're about to do Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is the upward facing bow. This is the combat bow pose. Palms near your ears, prepare. Your feet come closer to your buttocks. we go on our head first as a preparatory move, and inhale, we come up. Eventually you'll want to have your feet on parallel lines, but at first you can just do at least some variation. Typically the wider your feet are, the easier it becomes to do this, so that can also serve as a trick if you're trying to get into this pose. Again, we drop on the head as a rest. I can stand on my head and fix my palms, adjust them if needed. And again, I come back up and I breathe here. This is a great pose. Just make sure you can actually do it. Don't strain yourself too much. Start gradually. There are also preparations for this pose you can do that we're not showing here. Again, on the head, and inhale, come up again. Sometimes this pose is called a bridge, which you can probably see why as well. Exhale, we come down, make sure don't crash down, lie down, and we sit with our legs stretched in front of us. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, arms up, exhale. Let's compensate again. We're doing Paschimottanasana again. This is the second time we're doing it, but it's so good to do after this bridge pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana pose that might as well do it again. And you cannot do this asana enough because it's very important and works the entirety of the back of your body. So that's why we're doing this again. Inhale, exhale. Keep breathing. We do not hold the breath. We actually do not hold the breath anywhere in this complex or set. Continue breathing. You can hold it for a few breaths, maybe 10 or 15, depending on the frequency of your breath. Inhale, head up. Exhale, a little deeper into the fold I go. Inhale, Dandasana. The torso is straight, perpendicular to the floor. Bring the leg, the left leg to crisscross. Arm up, the back is straight. I'm going to do a twist to compensate. Exhale. My right elbow is behind the left knee. And as you can see, I'm able to balance. So there's not a lot of weight in the back palm here. It is there just for slight support, but I'm actually able to hold this thing without the palm being there. So it's just there for slight upholding of my body. And I breathe here. It's a massage of internal organs. Inhale. The leg is straight, both legs are straight. Bring the left foot behind the right knee, or the right foot behind the left knee. And exhale, we twist again. Keep breathing. You look to the back, straight. Inhale, come back. Dandasana, the original pose in the sitting variation here. Take a few breaths if needed. Inhale, move yourself to the beginning of the mat, to the front of the mat. Exhale, this is the plow pose, Halasana. your arms can form a hammer, or they can just remain flat on the mat. I'm doing the hammer in this case. And it's okay to bend your legs and the knees if needed. Sometimes if I am a bit tense, I haven't practiced for a few days, then I will bend the knees a little bit. But then it gets easier either as I'm holding the pose or within a couple of practices, within a couple of days. Inhale, both of my legs up. I'm supporting myself slightly above my shoulder blades. This is Sarvangasana. Check if you have some thyroid issues here, because it really puts a lot of pressure on the neck, although not too critical, but there's definitely a lot of activity going on there. Also, these are inverted poses, so for women during the female days, you should also be careful with doing these, perhaps avoid them altogether. Exhale, the left foot. The right foot comes down. This is Eka Pada Sarvangasana. Again, bring it back up. Exhale, the right one comes down now. Same thing on the other side. Eka Pada means one foot or one leg. It's obvious why it's called that way. We're back to Halasana. Both feet are behind our head now. Inhale. And exhale, we try to lower the knees to our ears. This is Karna Pidasana, the pose of pressuring the ears. You can, if you're able to reach there, if not, that's fine, just hold the Halasana as we were before. If you're able to do Karna Pidasana, then gently hug your ears with your knees. And you might even be able to feel the blood flow in your legs. Again, inhale, Halasana, the plow pose. We keep breathing. Grab your ankles and gently roll yourself back onto the mat, joint by joint, feeling how the entire spine begins to touch the mat. Don't rush it, and let your legs remain straight, and then gradually lower them. Lower them into this butterfly pose. It's a good resting pose. Again, bring yourself back to occupy the entire mat. And take the Shavasana, which is the rest pose, or as they call it, or as it's translated, a corpse pose. So we try to rest fully and completely, get comfortable. The legs are typically about 30 degrees apart, and the arms are about 30 to 45 degrees apart. But each person finds their own twists to this pose that make them feel more comfortable. We make sure, or we try to get completely relaxed, so we scan the body starting from the feet and upward, and as we encounter different parts and different muscles, we relax them. So we actually give this command not to tense but to relax, and we spend about 2 or 3 minutes doing this, making sure we're not omitting any part of the body, and actually doing everything until we reach the head, the face. Make sure we cover the tongue, relax the tongue, and once we've done that, we begin to just follow the breath. And if our mind wanders, we can return it to the breath, or let it kind of relax altogether. Just make sure this is not a pose that you just pass out in. It's fine if that happens, but don't do this on purpose. It happens with a lot of people because we're very tense in our daily lives. So whenever we get here, especially in the beginning of our practice, our body is still feeling as if this practice is pretty strenuous. It can be unusual and difficult. So when we get to the rest part after about an hour of exercise, we feel sleepy. But eventually you'll just feel like you can lie there in relaxation, and actually you can just do whatever with your mind, with your consciousness. So in that case, follow the breath. It can be your stomach going up and down gently. You don't control anything, you just follow it. It can be the sensation of the breath in your throat or in your nose, something like that. If there are some sensations in the body, then you can follow those, but typically we let the mind kind of out of the body at this point and let the body relax. You can pretend and try to feel as if your body gains a lot of weight, becomes quite heavy, and really becomes one with the floor, as if the body was made out of some like thick substance or metal, and it sort of starts really attaching itself to the floor, and you lose control. You loosen the body. You lose the control of what's happening. If there is some gentle music you like, or meditative music you like, it's definitely helpful to play it here at this point. Continue breathing and continue relaxing. This is Shavasana. Relaxation is very important to yogic practice. At some point, to begin gaining health, peace of mind, and just overall mindfulness, it's important to relax. If we are tense, we're closed off, our energies are not flowing, we're actually wasting a lot of energies, mental, physical, emotional, and so on keeping these blocks active. And the blocks in the body are equal to the blocks in our mind. So those two are the same thing. They're just different sides of one coin. So we relax the body, therefore we relax the mind. That's part of the beauty of a yoga practice, in particular Hatha yoga practice. At this point, begin to return the attention to the body. I'm rotating my wrists and my ankles first in one direction, then reverse them in the other direction. Move my legs a little bit. I stretch myself out, make the lock with my arms, and stretch, point my toes, and connect my arms behind my head. Rock myself by hugging my ankles. The tighter you hug, the more round your back becomes, and you'll be able to rock easily. At first it can create unpleasant sensations in the spine, but generally you get used to it pretty quickly, and then they go away. I bring myself forward, I sit cross-legged, close my eyes, and just follow my breath and follow my body. If you're able to sit in lotus or half lotus here, you can do that. We just sit, remain mindful for a bit to finish up our practice. You can think of how great it is to have a body that's allowing you to do this practice. It's allowing you to live, that's taking care of you, that's living with you, for you. Make a namaste with your hands. Think of how thankful you are for everyone who is doing all kinds of things, providing the mats, the food, all kinds of other sustenance for you to live, to be able to live. And really realize that you're not one here, that we're all one and the same. And exhale, slight prostration, and inhale, we come back up and we finish our practice.